Okay, so this is a continuation of Bolte Taylor's video I saw in the year 2009. And since there's a connection feeling related to awakening in the way she describes, and I thought this may be helpful, just imagine how we use a construct of the brain, right and left, and brain and heart, and depending on how we process the information, there's a certain result to come with it. And if we can relate to that, it may help us moving into the direction that may be more balanced. So in her case, it's the stroke on the left brain, and the story continues. So this is after she started to come back from the stroke. There are lots of stories, and I think you may have watched some of the YouTube or TED Talk she did, called the Stroke of the Insight or something like that. But anyway, this is, I think, a 4 segmented videos with the opera, but I'm picking up some of the points that I felt interesting. And this was done in the year 2009, so 15, 16 years ago. But interesting to revisit. So she is to recover, and it's as if she's born as a newborn child, and how she recovers. It takes time. It's interesting to see. It's like you go back to the Garden of Eden and forget the use of the words and logic. So she comes back and learn to talk. There are lots of wonderful stories with Bolte Taylor with her mother coming together, and how things start to happen since then. She says, as I was recovering, and this is in my quotation, parenthesis, there were colors, environment, stimulation, fascinating. I was alive. I did not care of other people. In this condition, I was a happy child. It was clear that I was a miracle. Kids are behaving like that. There's a Bible line which says, the enter to the heaven, or whatever, the kingdom of heaven is more for the kids, but not for the adult. Because the adult is too heavy in the brain, doesn't get it. So she says, it was clear that I was a miracle. There's no fear. I was like a life force power. Yes, aliveness welling up from the core. All cells working with potential. I was perfect and beautiful. Thinking takes lots of energy, she said, especially related to use the words and logic and create something artificially. So there's little pushing into formulate something which she felt unnecessary, instead of digesting, relating to the world as it is. This is another avenue of the brain and the words to be developed. So she says, willingness to try is everything, so that she can recover to the left brain. In case of children, I don't know if they were trying. It maybe felt natural because it goes down into their unconscious part early in their life, so there's no doubt, so no trial. But in this person, Bolte Taylor's case, it was to reconstruct from nothing, no conditioned mind. If I do not try it, the left brain may never come back. That's what she felt. So it's like a rebirth process requiring lots of energy, not losing the compassion or love. Reborn, start from scratch. I lost emotional package, suffering, and so forth. All garbage wiped out when that stroke took place. When I had the awakening experience, I had a smile. I didn't know why, because the logic was not working. So to reconstruct the logic, I had to read and study and relate to the world after, and still took time. My case was not her case, but similar in the first part of the description of experience, but not as heavy in the sense of whole left brain is gone and reconstructing, because I had the right brain, left brain experience awakening, and then starting to wonder how this left brain may fit together to explain what happened. So I think she went through the same kind of process. Emotional pain is physical. Yeah, it's felt in the body. And like I said, if you have a problem, the stomach may hurt. But if you are just left brain oriented, you ignore or you don't feel the stomach hurting. So there's a partition, barrier between the left and right, and you can be egocentric and crazy, but in that case, the barrier is so strong, it's like an iron curtain, that no compassion, no love, no wisdom, just like a machine process. But if you lost it, to create something, to play with this logic, requires very subtle manipulation so that you are not damaging the right brain, but left brain start to take over. Maybe that's the reason why it took painful process to go through to recover. Sadness has a physiological feeling. Or I said the suffering has stomach hurting, so physiological. It's all about circuitry, connection. You have a choice to pick up the emotional luggage or not. The source of pain, the luggage. You carry it and open up and taste it and feel again sad, stressed. But you have a choice. You have a choice to focus on certain subject or not. Just a while ago, I was posting Let's Meditate series of the meditation video. I was talking a little bit about Bolte Taylor's case. And similar to this point, the connection to the stomach hurting and the brain, just like that, is that when the barrier is there, you don't feel it. You are too focused in certain part of your brain. In the meditation video, I talked about in our mind, we have lots of branches when we may focus and we can balance out, but also have a balance between the brain and heart. So the bottleneck, the barriers that create may make the flexibility be gone because you don't have the good perspective of what's happening, but just focusing, doing things task-oriented like a machine process. And in doing it, you may be creating the ulcer in your stomach or even more. And that may be the symptom of what we have in the modern day world. How to process the information. Yeah, I have my comment here. Each of the line, actually, I have a comment. I just read it. I said the sadness or suffering is something you feel in your body. At the end, it's just a circuitry. If you have the sense you have a choice to choose such a psychological or physiological sense of the feeling to be yours or not. You have a choice. So it's, in her case, she took time to make sure that the choice is not to recreate the left brain in a similar manner, but rather to spend several years to recover, and kept herself convinced that this is careful how to create the brain circuitry. I have a little comment here. I wasn't reading my comment, but I just find it interesting. I was referring to my awakening experience in such a manner that even if I throw away some of those burdens and be free, liberated, if you are oblivious to the conditioning happen, and if you just let that to be reconfirmed on the left brain, then it would create the situation of awakening to go backward. So I said that in my case, when I had this banga or awakening experience in Vipassana, I kept on doing this cleaning up, is the word I use about my left brain, in that Vipassana, no mind, no self, exercise of Samadhi going on. So that intuition I had may be quite to the point relating to the Bolte Taylor's experience to come back